Today we will be building a Ferris wheel in Minecraft using the Create mod. Why are we in my base here in the JustCreate SMP? Well, I just so happen to have this base over here, prepared for building an amusement park to lure in the other players on the server to come and visit my bread factory. 3 years ago, I set out to design a Ferris wheel in the 3D modeling software known as Blockbench, as I had a plan to build an entire amusement park in Bedrock Edition using custom-made models. But as things would have it, I ran into several setbacks along the way, such as immovable seating positions and other game developer mumbo jumbo, which brings us here today. In the Create mod, we can build moving contraptions using Minecraft blocks by simply applying glue, which allows you to combine blocks together to form all kinds of shapes. And it just so happens there's a certain and extremely combi block in the Create mod that makes a Ferris wheel rather straightforward to put together: the mechanical bearing. The world's first Ferris wheel was constructed in Chicago for an exposition in 1893, but it sadly never got to stand up against the touch of time and was frankly demolished already back in 1906, just 12 years after its construction, meaning that even Minecraft has now outlived the lifespan of the world's first Ferris wheel. And here I am in Minecraft about to build one with the help of the Create mod, which in just a few years' time will also have existed for longer than the original Ferris wheel ever got to do. A Ferris wheel is a circle that has been hung upright in the air using support legs. The circle spins like a wheel around an horizontal axis, and along the edge of the circle at equal intervals there are pivot joints from which there are suspended carts. The central mass of a suspended cart is located below the joint, and thanks to gravity they remain upright as the wheel spins around. Unless we begin to spin the wheel really fast, at which point gravity is replaced by centrifugal forces. The perfect sleep paralysis monster for anyone who yearns for a calm day on a sunny beach. So we're gonna start by figuring out the measurements and the placement for this Ferris wheel. The benefit of having it on this end axis is that it gives us room to see stuff happening in the further part of the base. But this side is more spacious, and if somebody comes visiting from spawn, it will serve as a fantastic visual hook for the park, even though the park is going to be a very small park now when I look at it. So for that reason, I think we're gonna pick this end side over here. If you give me just a moment, I'm gonna try to find the middle of this wall. A double block center. Now, I'm not gonna let myself be bested by a 2-block center, and I will instead be building the Ferris wheel on this end side. The benefit of doing so is that I can place it even closer to the water and have the overhang go out a bit here, which gives us a lot of clearing to see it from the other part of the base. Whilst if I put it on the wall behind me, having it centralized would have probably looked the best. I've just aligned myself with this corner, and I think this block is in a perfect distance for where I want the first support leg, and this right here is meant to sort of signify where the big leg connects down. And this begins the real query: how much of a distance do we actually need between the legs? Because you see, this will dictate two very important decisions. Number one, the angle of the leg supports, and number two, what sort of support I will actually build. Back in the creative world and back with our mechanical bearing. Let me show you something else this guy can do that will make building the support beams a breeze, but also for quite a problematic visual glitch. So I built myself a pillar. Let's glue that up. There we go. And now I'm going to be using a copper valve handle, because this thing allows us to set a predefined angle to this contraption. Let's set this one to 15 and then change the settings on this block to be only placed when anchored or destroyed. Because if we don't do that, it will snap back to its original position. So if I now flick this valve handle, we will notice that the entire thing has been given an angle. And you see, this is unavoidably the absolutely best way to build the support beams coming up to pick up the joint that is then going to hoist the entire Ferris wheel. There is only one small issue. Contraptions can have a really silly behavior to them, because as I get closer, you'll notice how they snap into position. And that right there is something we really don't want to have happening to our Ferris ride support. But then on the other hand, I do think that I've figured out the culprit here. The beams of Chosen's base are contraptions, but as you notice as we flew in, they weren't standing vertically upright or horizontally flat, which makes me think that he put an initial angle and then adjusted them after they've been contraptified. Let me check if that is the same in the creative world. Well, as you saw there as we loaded in, it did rotate the contraption into place. But now, just for the sake of it, let me whiff this one another 15 degrees. It is now standing in a 30-degree angle to the side. If we fly out enough to deload it from the world and fly back in, you will notice that, it flipped back to the 15 we set. And as we get closer, it flips back to the 30 that we moved it towards. That tells me two important things. Number one, if we want to use this method, we need to hard rotate this into place as we begin. But number two is only evident when we move back into the world again by loading up the save and it rotates once more. So if I go with this method, every replay shot that I do with the replay mod from this point on will always have to take into account that these legs are gonna rotate back into position. More work on my end, but something to be mindful of if you want to do something similar in your world and make videos about it. So I'm gonna put this to 20 and do a test in my base with this glued up pillar. As you can tell, there is some green outlining on this one, meaning I have glued it up. All that's left now is to put the movement mode to only place when anchored or destroyed, and then flick the valve. Oh, I do like that right there, but it's way too short for where I would want our Ferris wheel to go. It has been glued up till this block, so what I'm gonna do next is to add more blocks and then glue them onto the previous glues. If I click on this block right here and I fly down, you will see that we now have intersecting glue lines. I can glue there, and this entire thing is now one massive contraption. So let's do that again, only place when anchored or destroyed, and what if we put the angle to 30 degrees? So now when we got this support leg in place, there's going to be some sort of joint attachment here, and then another leg leading down over there. This right there is the actual support reach for this particular leg. Now I'm going to be adding, I think, 3 or 5 blocks for the pivot center, the contraption thing that's going to sit up there and hold the joint for the actual Ferris wheel. Now it could be argued that this is a bit too wide, but looking at what I think is going to be the final proportions, I would say it's pretty much there. But I do have one more thing that I need to do, and that is to measure out the actual joint location here on the device. And I think this will suffice. We actually do want this one to angle into the top of it. But since I'm building these support legs in survival, I'm not too fussed about that because I can always change the angle later. But something I will do is to use a schematic in Quill to save my structure so I can copy it over into the creative world. And since I'm using the measurements here in the survival world as a reference, we know that it's going to fit perfectly when we put it back in later. Back in the creative world, all we need now is a schematic table and an empty schematic. Let's load the Ferris height onto a new schematic file, there we go. And I can then place this one in the world, and since this is in creative, I can just hold Alt and scroll over to print, and then print. And there it is, printed into the world. To then do this in survival, however, we will need one of these schematic cannons and some sort of inventory with all the blocks that we need for the build. And the real benefit to doing this in creative is of course the iterative speed, and testing the circle sizes may take several tries before we get it just right. Because I also have to take into consideration the fact that people will have to step up into the cart somehow through some sort of platform in the middle underneath the wheel. Yeah, it isn't really just about building the wheel, is it? So now you see that we've built ourselves a circle that moves, and that's only half of the problem. Of course, this isn't the way it's going to look in the end. This is my test circle to just see if I break any constraints. Since this is a contraption, I'm very mindful of not accidentally building it too big, because that could present a fatal error down the lane where the build is just too big for it to actually move as a contraption at all. So I am a bit mindful of that. Now, let me show you something we're going to do with the mechanical bearing now we've gotten this far. If I place a mechanical bearing into a structure, this mechanical bearing right here will actually spin in the opposite direction of this one. But there's a caveat, it will only ever work with the first and second one in a contraption. If I were to add a third one on top of that bearing, this one will not rotate at all, meaning all the ones I'm gonna add into the frame to suspend the carts from are gonna work just fine. Now, it is important when you glue these contraptions that they're not glued onto the main contraption. They have to be glued separately so the glue does not touch the other contraption. Now we got 3 carts suspended from my Ferris wheel, although I'm quite anxious about this one here on the corner placing weirdly when it reaches the bottom. And that's just simply due to the angular resolution in the measurement. I'm gonna set these ones to only place when anchored or destroyed as well. Now the Create mode has something called a creative motor, which allows you to play around in creative and add speed and stuff without building machines for it. So I'm gonna be adding that there, and we can already see that, wow, this is spinning fast. Let's tune that speed to 1. That's much better. Now with the speed set slower, we can see very clearly that these are indeed aligning vertically. So there we have it, end of it. Now of course we're going to do more. We haven't even started building the actual one yet. Aha! See, that right there is something I'll be very mindful of, because this cuts in the block above and that one ticks all the way through. Let's see if we can fix that. What this tells me is that the mechanical bearing we had there probably do better placed here. Let's rebuild our cart, glue that up, and then do this again. So let's see, the first one coming there licks the top, and this one, oh, that also pretty much licks the top. That tells me I should align them with the black box inside of that diagonal shaft. And since this is a Minecraft builders video after all, we've reached a point where it's time for a time-lapse. Let's go! So now when I've tested this in Creative and seen that it can spin around, I'll admit I'm slightly anxious as to how it will perform in the game world now on a server, especially considering I connected the two outer wheels with this middle bar, because when I tested them in Creative mode I had them separated with two different bearings. But now as I hold the glue in my hand, you'll notice that there's a lot going on and everything is being combined properly. So I'm gonna head and prepared a bunch of red blocks because I do really like how red and green comes together. So what we're gonna do is to build a fresh support leg, and when we are done with this one we can copy it with schematics. And after that we're gonna put some power into this connection joint. But first things first, let's put this one backwards 30 degrees and put it to always place when stopped. There we go, now that's no longer a contraption. We now also know that this one has the perfect length to connect to the center joint. That should be the glue removed. I do think I actually want industrial plating as the bottom connection point of this pillar. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. The copycat mod is a really interesting one that allows you to place regular block textures inside of blocks that they would normally don't have. They allow you to do these kind of builds, add vertical slabs, and more importantly, they let you put blocks inside of them so you can let them be whatever you desire them to be. But in this particular case, I really want the red dark metal plating. That's going to be the base connection for my pillar. This gives us a slightly thicker but not overdue size to our support legs. Now, technically all we got to do is to copy this one as a schematic and paste it in over there, there, and there. And there we go, the preview for the first support leg that we're going to paste in. And in the cannon you go, and gunpowder with that. Now all we need is the materials list, and there we go. Let's check that out. It's not that bad. I think I got most of this on me. And that's the glue in, and that should be everything. And if I didn't tell you already, you need to have an inventory adjacent to the cannon for it to pick up stuff from. And now it's just a matter of clicking play. And now that schematic is empty. Let's hoist it onto here and pick up a new leg. Place that leg in its new position and then move back here and apply this schematic and click on play. The third one is in and it's now time for the fourth. Back to the cannon, back to the playing and back to the waiting. Do I connect these ones? I absolutely think I do. So I'm gonna add shafts between them. And then glue from there onto over there. Now same thing on the other side, we're going to take the glue there and glue it over there. And then I'm going to take my bearings and put them inside of this hole here. And the same thing on this inside as well. Let's cut that open and put that one there. Now I think we set them to around 30 degrees. Now this one is going to rotate that direction and that pair is going to rotate this direction. Otherwise this would look quite silly. And here in the bearing settings we can change what direction we're rotating in judging by the arrows to our left. And 30 degrees, here we go. Another thing you may notice is that on these supports I do have these locations as well. My plan with these is quite simple. We're going to build connection bridges with them. Now the support has a proper center support as well. The rotational speed controller is a massive benefit here because it allows us to fine-tune and dial the speed of the Ferris wheel. And I'm gonna set it to spin, let's see here, counterclockwise. Now all we need for this thing to start rotating is some power. Because we're now at that stage of development where either everything breaks or everything works. I really hope for the latter. Here we go. And as the morning sun rises, I can now conclude that this Ferris wheel is done. Now, this video would of course not be complete without somebody reacting to riding this Ferris wheel, and it just so happens that Chosen has logged onto the server. Hello, Chosen.
Kev.
Well, wow, that's very close up and personal. I like that. Ouch. Well, that's also very personal. Dude, I have, I built something.
What?
It's a Spinny McGee.
What does that mean? Is that like a, hey, don't.
It's fine. Hey, don't knock two pigs off the cliff. That's not how you do it.
So you made like a spinny cow trough that auto milks.
A
spinny thing? That's what I think of.
If we put cows in this thing that spins, they might enjoy the sight, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the sight of milk. I don't know. Yeah.
Putting two and two together. We're putting we added aeronautics to JustCreate.
Fox has already done that video, and it was a lie. I'm sad to say we haven't. I would have loved that, but we.
I want it so bad.
Same.
Okay, so
come here, dude. No, so I've been up to no good. It took a lot of math. This one.
I love math, dude. I can't get away from it. It always seems like math shows up
in the most unexpected places. I would have loved some pie, like some good pie. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Now, there's been a lot of pie involved in this project, Chosen. I have built a Ferris wheel.
That is so cool looking. Wait, is there carriages on it? I can't see if the carriages have loaded in yet.
Yeah, so about the carriages, we'll discover as we get closer, and night is... You know what? Let's just sleep before we get closer.
That looks so cool.
He's already spoiling it for himself. Fine, okay.
Oh, no, I can't help it. This is cool.
So, yes, for some reason, sub-contraptions to contraptions, they don't render in the same distance as a main contraption does. Probably to save on load. But yeah, there we go. It's a
that's cool.
It's a double contraption. Well, it's more than a double because every individual cart is, of course, its own contraption. But there's sub-contraptions to the main contraption.
I didn't even know that was possible. I was wondering this in my head, like how would you get the carts to work?
So it's quite straightforward. You use a mechanical bearing, and when you have a mechanical bearing on a thing that has a mechanical bearing, then that mechanical bearing spins in the opposite direction.
So, like, it's very similar to Spin Cycle here, I think. The way
spins
somewhat because
I remember this thing.
These are two separate contraptions.
I hate that box. I know what that box did, Chosen. No, so I built them in quarter pieces. Schematic cannon. Well, I saved schematics, then rotated and pasted schematic, and rotated and pasted schematic. And what's really cool that I didn't know was, and you probably know this, glue is apparently inherited in schematics.
Yes, so long as you provided glue in the thing, yeah.
And that's just, in my opinion, a little bit broken when you're building large contraptions because it saves you fantastic amounts of time.
Yeah, a lot of time.
But you know what I haven't had time for?
The Wand of Symmetry?
No. Test riding this thing.
Ooh. Are we going to be the first? You haven't even test rode your own contraption?
No.
What if it falls over?
Yeah, about that.
Do I need to sign something?
Just take a piece of meat and enjoy, I suppose. Well, yeah, whenever you... Oh, yeah.
I'm not signing that.
I wasn't expecting you to just take whatever piece of coal you have and sign the chicken. That's not what I said. I said enjoy the meat, not sign the meat.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, I was looking for a signature. Yeah, I want your autograph on my chicken.
So how is this going to work? How are we out? Does it have seats in it? Or are we setting on bare metal like
yes,
normal?
It does have seats. No. We're going to be sitting comfortable. Everything has been themed orange, you see here.
Does it like never end? It never turns off.
See, that's what I was about to get to. I made a Ferris wheel. I didn't make a Ferris wheel that pauses to let you on.
You know, this must be running at like 1 RPM. Even at like 16 RPM, you would be sending these into space.
Yeah, it is running at 1 PM. Yeah, 1 RPM.
Yeah, 1 RPM. You cannot make it any slower. Because of the way the forces, like, it gets exponentially faster on outer edges the bigger you make something.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
When I first, the thing is, right, when I first implemented this and tested in Creative, I used the Creative Engine. They're not set to, they're set to 16 by default, right?
Yeah.
this thing was doing numbers on 16. Now, with that said, Chosen, we can try this one out slightly faster once we've had a first try. The worst part of this was trying to figure out the distance the cards had to be to sort of line up, because, of course, building diagonally as opposed to horizontally vertically in Minecraft is a little bit of an offset. You notice that as some cards come down, they just don't really match up with the ledge. And that's one of the things, right? You have to build a bigger circle to accommodate for this issue. So, yeah, you care to give it a ride?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're just going to pick this one. I'm going to open it here, and then we're going to zoom in. Like we go. Come on, Chosen, okay. You're in it now. And then we pick a sheet.
Not metal seats, plush seats. Man, the longevity on this ride is not going to be there.
I thought about most of the comfort. It's you can lean back on the window. They're strong glass, these ones. They don't break. Look, they don't. I mean, even if I smash it with my pickaxe, just doesn't break. This
that's true.
Very, very strong and potent glass, this one. And we have now reached a pinnacle, and now we're on our way back down again.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I didn't actually think that building a Ferris wheel, because of the sizes, there's limits to how big contraptions can be and stuff. I was worried it was going to break those rules.
No.
Seems it didn't, somehow.
I don't think there's anything to worry about as far as contraption size goes.
Chosen, if there's nothing to worry about, then you just sit tight, okay? Wait in there whilst I... Just give me a moment. I'll be worried. Just enjoy yourself.
What happens if it does break?
It's not... Well...
it already feels faster.
No.
Oh my goodness!
Chosen!
I am... Yep. I was in the cart. I am no longer in the cart. I don't actually know where I'm at, but I am spinning very fast. Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, it's good that it can do. Okay, let me just put this one down to Chosen, hold her breath. Okay. I'll put it back down to 1. So, for comparison's sake there, I never went above 35. I think I put it at 32 or 30 as the max speed there.
Oh, you didn't even take it up to max?
No.
Hey, Kev, you should get into the contraption. I want you to definitely take a seat. And where exactly are these controls at?
Yeah, come here. I'll just have to temporarily open this space for you. Okay, let me just sit down and enjoy myself then, I suppose.
No, hold on. You should probably stand up. You should probably stand up for this one. No, you should definitely sit down.
I'm going to sit down and just see what happens. And increase it to whatever liking. I'm currently in... Oh my... Okay. Oh my... Chosen, what's the speed currently on this one?
It's 1? It's like 1. It's like...
This is not 1. This is...
It's something...
1 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's like
that's
1.
The Okay, this is lower. This is still faster. What am I looking at?
Okay, let's set it that's pretty good, right? There you go.
So I am floating a bit in and out of the cart on my screen. Hello?
See? Do you just stay in one position if you just...
Now I'm sort of enjoying myself in the... This seems like the speed it was set to.
Did you even move with 256?
What did you put it to?
256.
You pulled it... So this thing can go at max speed? Wait. Could you just... I probably did capture that with replay mode, but could you just put it back to that speed? I need to see this for my own eyes.
Yep.
Okay.
I dare you to walk through it.
It's exactly as by design. Yeah, that's what we...
Yeah, even half the speed, I think, is...
Should we just leave it on like this? It comes on like later to take a look and just goes, what's happening, Kev's base? Where's this wheel spinning at?
Stone, I need you to check this out.
This is so dumb.
Oh, it's good. It's very good. Now try it. I mean, the real goal is like, how do you get on now? You gotta
I can't even remember if I closed the door. Let's see. Did I close the door to the cart that I was in? I think I'm gonna have to go and find it.
I think the doors could auto open, by the way, if on each of these cars there was the same thing that allows elevators to work, the redstone contact. And as soon as it passed through there, the door would have opened.
I don't think you would.
I think even if it was right here on the corner, every single one of them passes in front of it.
Oh, so you mean the actual contraption passes in front of it in any way, shape, or form, or capacity?
Generally pass. Yeah,
I might have to try that out. Yeah, that's a good addition for the fix up and loose. Well, if you guys want to see me fix the doors on this thing with contraption stuff, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because we're gonna take a look at that in a later episode on the SMP. Now, I hope that you enjoyed yourself watching Chosen and me completely break this Ferris wheel that apparently was completely buildable in Minecraft. And Chosen, any last words you want to send off to the people that are looking to be getting into Create and enjoy themselves? Chosen?
Bye!
Yeah, by his words, bye.